In this video, we're going to be talking about one of the most common faults in golf. How do we start that golf swing? How do we start that takeaway in your golf swing? And I've had a couple of online lessons where we've been working on this takeaway, and also a couple in-person lessons working on this movement as well, where we noticed two different outcomes. The first outcome was the positioning of the swing was a little bit off, where we'd see the wrist rolling a little bit too much on the inside, hands pushing out like so, getting very disconnected, with the club opening up like so and working on the inside like this. This isn't great because you've got to react and do the opposite on the way down to try and conjure up a straight golf shot. The second one I noticed, which was quite interesting, was that when they were taking the club back, the actual positioning of this swing circle going back was excellent, but they found it very difficult to control this club face. And for the takeaway, it doesn't necessarily matter if we get this perfect movement on the backswing, this perfect position, but the common fault from both of them was that they were unable to control what this club face was doing. And that's the key to master in the takeaway. We want to be able to control that takeaway, that club face movement in the backswing, because whatever we do in the backswing, we'd usually do the opposite in the downswing. And if it's fairly neutral, it's going to be neutral in the downswing. But if it's open or closed, then we're going to be trying to conjure up something to do the opposite to hit those straighter golf shots. So if you find you're one of these two people at the moment, I'd highly recommend sticking around to the very end of the video. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Harry, PJ Golf Professional, transforming golfers worldwide on Skillet, so make sure you drop us a follow on that platform as well. And be sure to hit the subscribe button if you do enjoy watching this video, as there's lots more content to come every Tuesday and Friday, 6 p.m. GMT. So once I identified those two common faults with that takeaway, I gave them both the exact same drill. I gave those two types of students, there was a couple of students that did both of these errors, but I gave them both the exact same drill that was able to get this control of the club face, and as a bonus, get this nice positioning and the movement on the way back to take place. Now, with this being said, we want to see the club face in this position here, where this leading edge is very much so parallel to your spine angle. If it's open on the way back, where the leading edge is basically vertical to the ground like this here, it actually is a promoter of an open club face. So if the club face is like this, basically when we take the club head back, it's too closed, like this, it's too open. So we want to try and find somewhere just on the angle like so. And to do this, all you need to take is an alignment stick, okay? And I would recommend 2 alignment sticks for this, but if you've only got one, then you can use one. I'll show you how to use just the one that you will have. But the first alignment stick, the not so important alignment stick, let's call this one, is going to be placed directly behind the golf ball, about 1.5 feet away from the golf ball, in line with the ball's target line. Then what's going to happen is you're going to take this second alignment stick, the most important one. So if you've only got one alignment stick that you're going to use for this, definitely use this one for placing the club onto the grip like this here, with the majority of the alignment stick hanging away from us. Now the idea with this is to allow us that when we get this alignment stick touching the lead side of the body here, is that when we start to take our hands back, we are trying to keep this alignment stick touching the left side of our body, the lead side of the body. So for left-handed golf, it's going to be the opposite, being the right side. So I've got the alignment stick on here, and if I just allow those wrists to roll over, for example, and get what we call this extension in this lead wrist here, so you can see I've just maneuvered my wrist like so, getting my GX Golf logo on the glove here, pointing more towards the sky, that's going to open up the club face. But watch what else happens when I do this as I start to take the club head back from this camera angle here. So I've set up with those 2 alignment sticks, and I roll my wrists like so, GX Golf glove pointing towards the sky, open up the club face, but this alignment stick now has moved away from the body. So that's a really good indication that the hands are moving away from the body and getting what we call disconnected in that takeaway. As I mentioned at the very start of the video, we want to be staying nice and connected. Not too connected where the hands get very close to us, almost touching the thighs, but close enough so that we're taking this club head along the alignment stick on the floor. That's not quite straight. I'll just get that straight just so we can see it from both camera angles in action doing it properly. So I've got the alignment stick on the left side, and just to begin with, I just advise you just to move like this here, okay? Where pretty much the entire body is stalling, and you're just moving the club back, trying to get the club head itself to travel along the alignment stick on the ground for where your eye line is. But this alignment stick here staying on the left side. As soon as this breaks and moves away from the body, we then get the club working a little bit too far on the inside, which ruins the positioning of the takeaway, but also it opens up the club face like this here. So if we bring this back now on this angle here to the golf ball, what's going to win the race? It's going to be the hosel side. So that's why now and again you may be suffering with those hosel strikes if you're opening up the club face on the way back. But again, if you're someone that closes the club face and gets this angle with the golf swing, where we get more of a flexion in this lead wrist here, like so, closing the face down with the GX Golf Glove logo pointing towards the ground as we take the club back, well, we're already setting the wrist in this position here. If I take the alignment stick here and do that same movement, it still moves away from the body. So as long as you keep the alignment stick touching this lead side of your body, just up until a point before the club reaches parallel to the ground, so pretty much at the end of the alignment stick on the ground here, that's going to make it so much easier for you just to understand, okay, that's where I want to be for the takeaway. And now once you get used to doing this movement back and forth a couple of times, nice and still, just getting the club to work over the stick, I want you to close your eyes and just repeat that feeling nice and slow over and over again. And what does that feel like to you when you do that movement? For me, it feels like I'm using my upper back muscles to take the club back, and that's my trigger. Right, upper back muscles to take the club head back. If you found them when you close your eyes doing this, that the feeling was this lead shoulder is starting that golf swing, is starting that movement, then feel it from the lead shoulder. Whatever it is that you feel when you close your eyes to develop that understanding for you, then stick to that feel and movement. So now you can take this alignment stick away, and I'd highly advise just leaving this second alignment stick on the ground here for you, just simply because it just makes it easier as a visual perspective to take the club head back as you're feeling whatever it is that you found when you closed your eyes just earlier. And to begin with, when you're taking this into full swings, we don't want to go straight into a full swing because that becomes quite difficult to get that movement. Let's go nice and slow for a few shots first, 5 to 10 shots, just working our way back to this point here, feeling that motion, narrower stance, and just swinging through as if we were to hit a chip shot. Now you can see there on that one, that was a very nice struck shot. And the reason for that was, once I set the club in this position here, all I did was I rotated my chest, I rotated my body through like so. I kept this angle that I've created in the takeaway to perform that chip shot by rotating, hands staying nice and ahead of the club, but not too much, working away through like so. I've not broken this angle here, and from this camera angle here now the club is disappeared and hiding behind the body, because that's going to cause those left shots. We've got to get the club nice and stable, controlling that club face on the way back, and we've also then got to do the same on the way through. So we've got this motion here on the way through. We want to get this club face to stay in control on the way through as well. We don't want this now to close down with it, because if we're so used to opening the club face on the way back, we're going to want to try and close it on the way through, or vice versa. If we're so used to closing it on the way back, we're going to want to try and open it. So we've got to keep this nice and stable throughout the swing. So it's almost like the actual upper body, for me it feels like, is controlling that entire chipping swing. I'm just using my arms and club to hold this position here and chipping through like so, and building this up into a full swing. Then we've got this movement taking place in the way back, this nice little trigger to start the golf swing. But how can we implement this into the full swing, you must be wondering? Well, it's a very simple move that I'm about to show you, but just before I show you this, I'd just like to quickly give a shout out to GX Golf, the sponsors to the channel. They provide high quality golf gloves for a fraction of the price. So if you're in the market for trying out some new golf gloves, I'd highly recommend using my discount code below, Harry10, and giving yourself some of these GX golf gloves. Great quality, been using these for a couple of months now, really impressed with them. I'm going to continue using these golf gloves because they just feel great. They feel as higher quality as you can get, but they are literally a fraction of the price. And the link for that will be in the description below. And you can get the alignment sticks and any training aids that I use in these videos from Golf Swing Systems using the code SHORE5. You can check them out in the description below as well. So this actual movement then, building this into the actual full swing itself then, once we get this takeaway, we've got this wider stance of course, wider base, ready to hit this golf shot. We've got the takeaway for, let's just say, position 1, stage 1. For stage 2 here, the tendency I see so many golfers do, of course, is they'll either use the wrist too much, taking the club back, or they'll drag the club too far under the plane and then get a little bit over. So what I would recommend you doing for this simple move to get it up to the top of the backswing is number 1, being the takeaway, and number 2, the thought is getting that club head to go upwards straight over to your right shoulder, your trail shoulder. And what's going to happen here is as soon as you start to get this feeling of the club just lifting upwards, it's still going to work around its arc due to the weight of the club being in the head. We're not just going to go straight upwards like this here. We're going to take the club upwards over the right shoulder, and that allows you now to get the right amount of flexion in this right arm, but also keeping this lead arm of yours nice and straight, keeping everything nice and relatively connected at the top of the swing. So from here, all we have to do is just have that same thought for the downswing. I'm not going to talk too much about how we can initiate the downswing, how we can generate more power from the downswing. That's all going to be covered in this video over here, but I'm going to leave that at the end. So check it out at the very end of the video. But just for now, once you get to the top of your swing here, all we want to be feeling is this same movement on the way through. We're getting this turn, this rotation. We're not shifting too far forward, okay? We're turning like so, getting this chest to twist towards the target, and we're holding this angle here that we've had at the very top of the swing. We get to here, we're rotating down and holding it through to this position here. And that's going to help you then just continue to control that club face. So let's just give this one a try, and I'm going to see if I can stop at that position there in the follow through. So take away for 1, up to the top for 2, and then holding it off for 3. So that one was quite nice there. Slightly closed the club face down on the way through just because it felt like I really extended my trail arm on the way through, which just influenced that face to close down a little bit. But overall, decent strike, good compression on the golf shot, a little bit of a pull to the left. But how can we then just allow this club to freely finish in that swing of ours? We've got the take, we've got the backswing, got this hold off with the club here to work in our favour. The hands are travelling this way as the body's turning like so. Or once you get to this position here, I just want you to fold your elbows. You're going to fold your elbows. So as opposed to trying to get those wrists to set the club into that follow-through position, we're actually controlling it with the body, getting this turn, holding this angle, and then we're just folding the elbows. And at speed, it's going to be much different. It looks like there I'm really holding off the face angle, doesn't it? And I'm going to push them out to the right, but not necessarily at 70 to 80 miles an hour. You're going to find it much easier to hit those straighter golf shots. To one more, just to finish up on getting that takeaway for me, feeling it in my upper back, club over the right shoulder, holding that angle, and then just simply just allowing those elbows to fold to finish off that golf swing. That was a nice shot, little bit of a fade to the right. On that one, it just felt like then I just extended my wrist angle here on the way back a touch by mistake, which has just caused it to go a touch off to the right. So if you've come this far, I'd highly recommend checking this video out here if you're looking for more tips on the downswing and more tips on the takeaway and controlling the club face on the way through will be in that bottom corner there. Don't forget to hit us a follow on Skillis, subscribe, as I'll be also revealing my brand new Downswing course coming out very soon to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.